Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another exciting episode of Frail Conversations. And also, welcome to the season finale of season six. This is pretty much going to wrap it up for season six, and we'll resume season seven after the new year. Yeah, it's time to spend time with my peoples and make my plans and everything for 2022 and get things in order. But before I head out, I want to talk about fatherhood, you know, not in the sense because I'm about to be a father and no shit like that. Nah. But I feel like as my brothers and shit, this is a conversation we need to talk about more before we become fathers. Like, you feel me? I'm a sole believer. I'm a firm believer on the fact that you become a father before you're a father. No, I'm on the premise that you have to be a father before you become a father. You don't become a father just because you have kids. You know, there's a spiritual and mental component to being a father that we have to access before we can physically bring children into this world. And I think that is something that we should talk about directly. And we should have conversations. Granted, I get it. I don't have kids, so I know I get those conversations. I get that side out where until you have kids, you don't understand. But I've been a child. I've been a child and I understand the dynamics of fucked up parenting. I understand the dynamics of not being prepared to have children correctly and everything like that, and what it can, what can happen in the long run. And I get it. Our parents do the best that they can, with what they have, and I get that. But at the same time, it doesn't take away from the experience of proper planning, what improper planning would do to a child. You feel me? Proper preparation prevents poor performance. You feel me? Prepare properly, be punished by the principles. You digs? But shout out to Jay Black. But this is, I think, just a topic that we need to discuss. Like, I see a lot of us have children. A lot of us have been having children. It's been like this for generations on end, having children that we're not ready for. Like, fatherhood is important. Fatherhood is impactful. And by having children that we're not ready for, we become the Rolling Stones. And it's one thing to be a child who succumbs to or falls victim to um an absent father, but it's another thing to be a present father and still be absent. Like, you can be there and still not be there, because there's levels to what we have to do, and it's deeper than just the responsibility of putting a roof over their head and clothes on their back. Like, you hear that a lot. Like, I was watching Boys in the Hood, and Trey was asking his dad, he's like, "Yo, Dad, what you got to do around here?" And he said, "I don't got to do nothing but pay the bills, keep a roof over your head, clothes on your back, food in your stomach." And that's cool. That's cool. Um, because you have to do that. But there's more to it. And Furious really captured that. Furious really captured that because he gave his son more than that. So much so that, like, took him fishing, talked about sex. Like, he had real conversations. Although it was a movie and we couldn't get but certain glimpses of what it was, but he was trying to put that power into his son. You feel me? And that's fatherhood. It's the hood we need to be repping the most. You feel me? And really putting ourselves in positions where we can successfully do it. Successfully be a part of our children's lives, beneficial and impact it and be impactful the right way. So I kind of just wanted to talk about this episode as the season finale, because it kind of, I don't know, it's a good way to end it. You feel me? At the age I am right now, I'm 31 now, so it's like I'm in that space where it's time. Like, I feel personally that um in it being my time, it's like I had to prepare myself accordingly. So of course this episode won't be about me, but it's gonna be dynamics that I think as fatherhood we need to have staples before we, get into it. And like I said, we need to talk about these conversations more with our brothers and shit, and with each other. Like, yo, bro, like, how you plan on being a father? Like, it's been being a father has been a fear of mine for a long time. It's been a real deep fear because I never thought that I could do it right. You feel me? But like, I keep hearing from friends and, family, like, yo, you're gonna make a great father one day. Like, and I'll be like, you think so? They be like, yeah. And one the the statement that hit me the most that made me think about doing this episode was when someone told me, you're gonna be a great father because you prepared before you had kids. It's like everything that you've done, and I've said this several times in the podcast, everything that I've done is for when my kids get here. You feel me? And as a man, I feel like that's what we need to do. Protectors and providers, whatever the case may be, we need to set up a system in a realm where when our kids come in, they can be kids. They can be what we need to be. Like, we should not be reactive to children being born. We should be proactive to children being born. So the moment they enter this world, we're ready. You know what I mean? And granted, you can never be 100% ready because, parenting is still things, but there's still the fundamentals, there's crucial things that need to be done that should already be established before we can have kids, beyond just being able to have a job and protect yourself and do, like, it's some deeper shit. And we are going to discuss it when we come back from this break. So be sure to hit me up on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at the Just Seen Podcast. Be sure to hit up my website at I Am Just Seen to get all things that are just seen. To all those who tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you are greatly appreciated. To all those who would like to tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you can do so by clicking the link in the description of your podcast. Cash App and PayPal are just fine. And don't forget, you can always catch up on the old content, the old videos. I have them uploaded on my podcast website now. You can either get that by going to justseenpodcast.iamjustseen.com or just going to iamjustseen.com and clicking the Just Seen Podcast icon. And yeah, you can get in with all of the videos that I've done and pick up on some of the episodes that kind of segued out, like Entrepreneur Goose that started over there. I think I have like 1, 2, and 3, or just 1 and 2 over there. And they started over there. I have some So Frail Conversations over there. I think So Frail Conversations 1 and 2 before it became what it was. So you can check all the classics out and get familiar with the podcast a little bit more. But yeah, that's that for this and that's this for that. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to dive into So Frail Conversations, Fatherhood. Oh yeah, and don't forget to visit iamjustseen.com. There you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the So Frail series to your library? Visit iamjustseen.com. You want to learn how to master the market for serious trading and investing? Visit iamjustseen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit iamjustseen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit iamjustseen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit iamjustseen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at iamjustseen.com. So just take a quick peek into my world and see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it. You will never see it unless you visit iamjustseen.com. All right. Welcome back. And without further ado, let's get started. Let's get this shit started. All right, so fatherhood. For me, fatherhood has been important as something that I've lacked out of my life. It was something that I valued so much that I went to find it. I went to find what it was like to have a father's presence in your life. You feel me? This is not to say like I was, always involving myself with older men and trying to, find mentors and shit like that. Nah. I went for the quest to understand what fatherhood was. Because from my perspective, I had to figure out what about my dad's fatherhood made him walk away from me. I used to internalize that, I used to like, why you don't want me, bro? Like, but I had to look at it differently. It wasn't, why he didn't want me. It's like, what was it about him and his essence and his development as a man that fatherhood for him was leaving? You feel me? And that sent me down my tangent and my rabbit hole to explore, masculinity, and so many different other things. Like, I had to become a masculine man on my own. I had to become a man on my own. I had to figure all of these things out on my own. And there was a disconnect somewhere. And what I realized was when I talked to my father for like the first time in like 15 years, I was 26 when I talked to him last. He said something to me that was like his form of an apology, but he couldn't bring himself to apologize. And as we was talking, he told me, he asked me like, "You got any kids?" I was like, "Nah, I ain't got no kids, bro. I'm out here trying to, build businesses and write books and shit like that. And you know what I mean? Make sure I'm solidified before I have any." He said, "Please do." He said, "Please do." And he admitted that he made a mistake. And then the conversation, the mistake wasn't having me. The mistake was not being a father before he did. And so as I talked to some of my friends and I talked to some of my peers, you feel me? I realized that, like, and seeing men that have kids, seeing men that don't, and you feel me, seeing men that are in their kids' lives, seeing men that are not. And it's like, I look at there's a common theme in all of them. Well, there's a common theme between that, and it's like the ones who are actively in their children's lives and able to deal with the stresses that come with raising a child, they were ready to have kids. They were fathers before they had kids. And those who struggle and those who don't, they weren't fathers yet. In So Frail 3, because it's this So Frail Conversations, in So Frail 3, I have a chapter dedicated to the 3 types of masculine energy. This is another thing that I had to figure out and I had to learn and I had to explore as I was getting older, as I was maturing and developing into a man. I have a podcast episode on it where I go over a little bit too, but in So Far 3, I dive in and I peel these motherfucking layers back, as always. But you have the fraternal energy, the spousal energy, and you have the paternal energy, sorry. Fraternal energy is like sibling shit, brother shit, friendly shit. It's the fun side. Spousal energy is your relationship, and paternal energy is your fatherhood energy, but not just fatherhood energy. See, think about being a father before you become a father is that you tap into your paternal energy. Paternal energy is guidance. Paternal energy is wisdom. It's subjective. It's the quintessential, the height of masculinity in a sense. You feel me? And to tap into your paternal energy requires experience. It requires understanding. A lot of us are the products of being created through fraternal energy. A lot of our fathers developed relationships, um, committed to women through fraternal energy. Fraternal energy can't commit. Fraternal energy is not a committing energy. But we have done committal shit through that energy. You feel what I'm saying? We have men have done permanent they have had permanent situations and circumstances occur and arise based off of fraternal energy. That's not the energy to have babies. That's not even the energy for relationships. You feel me? And it it takes its toll. It takes its toll. And as men, I think now it's time that we really tapped in differently and really focus on fatherhood. Um, when we look at nature, right? When we look at how we name nature, and by nature, I ain't gonna say nature because nature has its own thing. When we look at the universe and how we name it and name its dynamics, two of the most important pieces that are named are Father Time and Mother Nature. They're fitting names. When you understand the phrase time waits for no man, you feel me? Time basically don't give a fuck. Time is objective. Time does what it does. Nature is nurturing. Nature is more caring. Nature is more, you know, sustaining. Time is more analytical. It is what it is. So it makes sense, that metaphor, that example, even that name, just father time. Fatherhood has an essence to it that requires us to be objective, that requires us to have a certain approach of life that doesn't allow the emotions to be taken over, but we're able to do because we do. But the question is, how do you become that before you become it? For some, it's the catalyst of what elevates them as a man. You know what I mean? I see it all the time. Brothers be like, I ain't really start respecting women until I had a daughter. It's too late, because the daughter is already taking that shit in based off the DNA that's been transmuted from the mother through your relationship with her. You feel me? I said it before in the podcast. You can't see your daughter as a princess and see her mama as a bitch. Just ain't gonna work. You feel me? I've also said if the mama's broken, the daughter's cracked. Right? But in saying those things, I never really mentioned the son. Because the son has a double burden. Daughters have double burdens too, don't get me wrong. But a son has a double burden because his double burden is, I'm designed to emulate my father. Before the son can put on his own shoes, his path, his footsteps are molded and laid out first by his father. You feel me? They're laid out first by his father. And his father has to know where he's walking before he can have a son following his footsteps. Some of us, the spark to start figuring out where we got to walk happens the moment a son or a daughter or a child comes into this world. It's too late then. It's way too late, because now we get the overwhelm and the frustrations of, I don't know what I'm doing. I get it. Parenting is hard. You don't know what you're doing. I don't have kids, but I can imagine. I got nieces and nephews and shit, so I can give them motherfuckers back, but there's a certain essence that they have provided me with. There's things like I've learned that I had to have more patience. I have to speak clearly. I have to really know what I'm talking about in certain regards so I can explain it to them. I have to, be the one who's really going to break the shit down accordingly and be in a space where I can objectively do so. By objectively, I mean, in addition to not having bad emotions or not always exhibiting bad emotions, and you know what I mean, but learning how to infuse good ones, but then dissociating both of those when it's time to do something, when it's time to quote unquote be the enforcer, the protector, and the provider and shit. Like, a part of protection is you have to protect children from themselves too. Children are fools. I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but they're fools. You feel me? Read so for 3 to know what I'm talking about. Children are foolish. Fathers are wise. You have to take their folly and transform it into your wisdom. No, you have to take their folly and transform it into your level of wisdom. Not exactly your wisdom, because they're different individuals. They need to be guided in how they should walk, not encouraged to follow how you walked or do what you did, better, or, what I'm saying, be better. Like, the only way your child can be better than you is if they become their best self. You feel me? The only way they can become the best selves is with your guidance. And so the men that I look at, more so that are actively doing it, it it makes it easy to observe. and more easy to appreciate. One thing that I've noticed that is like I myself had moments when I was younger, getting jealous of my homies whose fathers were in their life or they had stepfathers in their lives and they learned a certain shit. You feel me? But I had to take a step back and stop being jealous of it and start being open to what is happening, being able to pay attention to it. Because you could put up a wall when you find something problematic because you didn't have it. You feel me? It's harder to receive it when you never had it and you wanted it. And you see somebody like that, jealousy kicks in, that envy kicks in, and it shouldn't. You feel me? But it's in paying attention to the little subtle nuances that are tied to it that bring you to a deeper reality. You feel me? So when I look at some of my homies and my peers that have kids now, and I watch them from both perspectives and shit, and it's like, bruh, you really different. You feel me? Watching what you're doing with your child helps me. You feel me? As an observant motherfucker, I feel like I can talk about fatherhood because I've seen enough fathers. You feel me? I've seen enough fathers and I know enough fathers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing to know friends and know they like, okay, their dad or whatever the case may be. But to have friends with kids is different. That family with kids is different. Like to see how they maneuver, to see the things and like see the cycles that are repeating, see the cycles that are new, see different dynamics. And there's a lot of things that we need to talk about more as far as fatherhood. I don't know why it's so taboo. You feel me? We criticize and we talk about our baby mamas all the time. I don't have a baby mama, but I'm speaking as a collective. We speak about our crazy baby mamas, we speak about all this shit, but we don't speak about fatherhood. We always speak about how devastating it is that we had a baby with a certain person, rather than saying, accepting the responsibility that I wasn't ready to be a father. And many men don't come to terms with that until their children are too old. You feel me? So they operate on a certain behavior and make the child think they this and that and the third, but it's like, you're really not that because you don't know how to be. You feel me? How can you really be that? And, you spend all of this time convincing your child that you were that, and then only to admit later, I didn't know what I was doing. You didn't even acknowledge that shit for yourself first. Because a part of fatherhood and being a father before you're a father is picking the mother before she's a mother. This is not to say, oh, she got stepkids or whatever the case may be. We can right now. Like, nah, I'm not talking about that. When you actively and proactively choose who's going to mother your kids, that's the first step. That's the first step. Because she got a fat ass, because she's, you know what I mean? Those aren't things that's not merit enough to have a baby. And we need to have conversations like that. Like sit down and it's like, yo, she bad, she cute, she this, like that. Fuck how she makes your dick feel. What about your mind and your soul? Can she stimulate those? Because as a wise woman once said, you feel me, Dr. Shahrazad Ali, she said, it's not the body that's gonna raise your babies. It's her mind and her soul. You feel me? Your greatest creation will be your children. However, if you don't have any creations up until that time, you'll never really see how women can be mothers or not. You feel me? Here's what I mean by that. As an entrepreneur, as somebody who, I pretty much have to create shit all the time. My merch, I create shit like different things like that. It's like, if you don't have a woman who can help you nourish your creations, how in the fuck is she gonna help you nourish your children? That's your children is your final creation. That's the end game. That is when you created everything that you want to do for yourself. Now you create the greatest thing possible. A baby. You have dreams, you have goals, you have aspirations. You have a woman encouraging you that you can't do it. Or a woman telling you that you shouldn't do it this way. You really think you should let that type of woman mother your children? Like, seriously, answer that question for yourself. Do you really think somebody like that should mother your children? No, logically, you'll say, hell no, fuck that, she not. But alas, we do. There's women that have held us back. You feel me? And this is going to sound like one of the misogynistic ones, but whatever. This is our conversation. They shouldn't be listening anyway. But it's a reflection of us. You have to experience, so much more than that. You feel me? You have to experience so much more than that. And it starts with your ability to be a creator. As I said, your children are your final piece. That's the final creation. That's when you say, I've created everything else that I wanted to create. I've learned the fine tuning pieces of it and different dynamics of it. And those should be your first children. So Frail was my first child, right? This is how I'm going to segue, and I'm going to talk about the fatherhood as this, and being a father before your father. Like, your creations are your first children. How are you going to nurture them? When I realized how impactful having no father in my life was when it was time for me, when I was actually creating my books and actually create, like, when I wrote my first book, my intention was to sell 100,000 copies, but I thought it was going to sell itself. Parenting happens like that. A lot of times parenting happens like that. Fatherhood happens like that. Like, you have a kid and you just set the expectation that they're going to be right. My kid's going to change the world one day. My kid's going to be something special. But are you nourishing that? Are you the ones following, like, you, the father, guiding the steps to develop that? And I use the So Frail in that example because my intention was to sell 100,000 copies. I haven't sold 100,000 copies. But it's because I thought the book was going to sell itself. I didn't learn to market it. I didn't learn to promote it. I didn't learn the other pieces, the other tangible pieces that were required to make this the best that I can make it. You feel me? It was, okay, well, just keep talking about it amongst the same people. And hopefully it is, like, it's not nobody else's responsibility to nourish your creation. I would feel like, okay, if this person's reading it, they should talk about it more. They're going to bring more people in. No, that's not their responsibility. You feel me? When I first dropped So Frail 2, right, one of my aunts and my uncles, well, my uncle and my aunt, she's married to the family, but either way, they came down, and one of my aunts, I was telling her about So Frail 2 and everything. She was like, 2? When did you write 1? And my mama was like, I told you about that. And she told my mom, she was like, no, you didn't. We didn't talk about that. And I was like, all right, whatever. And I was disappointed in my mama. I was really disappointed in my mama because I felt like she should have been telling everybody about my books. And I was wrong. I was wrong in that disappointment because it wasn't my mom's responsibility to handle my shit. It wasn't my mom's responsibility to nurture and develop my creation. It wasn't my mom's responsibility to raise my child. It wasn't my friend's responsibility to promote my books. It wasn't my, like, yeah, they supported me. They bought it. It's like, but it's on me to continue things going. That was like my first glimpse of fatherhood before I was a father. This is what I'm saying. Like, you have to create some shit first and know what it takes to develop it and nourish it the way it's supposed to be nourished prior to having it. A lot of the shit about So Frail 1, that's why I'm so glad it's 3 copies. It's 3 installments. But a part of So Frail 1, I was doing as I was doing it. I didn't like write, I didn't like prepare and say, okay, this got to go here. There's so much shit I didn't know that I learned in the moment. And I get it. It's like, oh, your first child, that's what it is. That's why the second child becomes easy. Your third child is like, because you have your experience with it, right? How much would that learning curve be cut if we actually had children that weren't physical beings prior? You feel me? So Frail, I had to learn about formatting. I had to learn about, edit. Well, I already knew about editing and proofing and all of that shit. I had to learn about covers. You feel me? Little shit like, you can't submit a cover if it's under 300 DPIs. How big your book is going to be. It's different. It's certain layers to how the shit was going to be. You feel me? Children are the same way. But children need us to be in a certain space before. You feel me? Because there's still things you're gonna have to learn. Like I had to learn. Like once the book was released, I had to learn about marketing. I had to learn about audiences. I had to learn about all of these different dynamics that really made me realize that I ain't I wasn't ready to be an author yet. I mean, yeah, I was a writer. I wasn't an author yet. You feel me? Because I relied on the fact that the book's supposed to sell itself. Granted, the content was right, the information was good, so it was supposed to sell itself. Nah, there's things that I had to do. I had to ask people for reviews. Go leave a review for me on Amazon for social proof. Go, like, you know what I'm saying? It's little things like that I didn't learn and didn't perfect until Frail 2. So with Frail 2, it was quick. Just dive in. I said, all I gotta do is write this motherfucker, publish it. The hard shit was out of the way. Like I had to learn everything I was supposed to with Frail, but here's where I flip it a little bit and connect it more. It's like the So Frail series, they're inanimate objects. They're not real. So they can't feel envy. They can't feel jealousy. They can't feel that, oh, you love that one better than me. It wasn't that I loved that one better than you. I was more prepared for that one than I was for you. So Frail 1 is like, if So Frail 1 was a real child, shit, it'd be like, you didn't do none of this when I was being raised. You feel what I'm saying? You didn't do none of this when I was being raised. So why is So Frail 2 getting all this attention? Because the things that I didn't know with So Frail 1, I learned and had to apply with So Frail 2. Same with So Frail 3. And there's even more shit I learned between So Frail 2 and So Frail 3. But in terms of fatherhood, we have to look at it from that dynamic, right? Set up the creation first, right? And then look at the women who can help you sustain this creation. Again, it wasn't the responsibility of none of the women I was involved with at the time to promote So Frail, to talk about it, to be in that space, to, you know what I mean? But I had one conversation with this woman years ago, and I was talking, but this was before the pandemic and shit. And I was, well, I think we fell out before the pandemic even hit. But anyway, in some of our conversations, we talk about the So Frail tour, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, selling the books and everything like that. And she said something that was really, really touched me because it really hit me on a different level. She was like, yeah, when the tour hits and we, on a run or whatever, like set up, do your thing, and I'll take care of the books to be sold in the events and everything like that. And it was like, now in hindsight, sticking with the metaphor, it's like, yo, she was willing to mother my children. She was willing to help nurture my creations. You feel me? You got to create something in this world and find a woman that's in that space to be able to do that. You feel me? Because that's going to predicate whether or not you should have babies with her. You feel me? When So Frail 1 came out, so many different women were coming into my space, but none of them cared to cater to So Frail the way that I was catering to it. Not that they had to. And that's one of the reasons why they didn't. also, because I'm like, this ain't your business. This is me. Some of them were willing to, some of them weren't. But the point is that for those who weren't, it's like, that's your shit, right? That's your shit. It's like, damn, now I have to look at it like that. When we have children, are certain aspects going to be, that's your shit? You feel me? Or are we going to do this thing together? You feel me? Which is one of the reasons why I always say, if we can't co-create, we can't procreate. As an entrepreneur, I like creating shit. So I've talked to women. I've spoken with women who were like, okay, I just want to be in a space. Fuck you. Fuck you. You just want the rewards of my babies. It's powerful shit. Powerful shit. When we think we get trapped off, we don't get trapped off. The shit was already there. However, it was hard to see because a lot of times when I look at a lot of people who have babies, when I look at a lot of fathers who had babies that may have been, you know, too young or not ready, they had no creations. I get it. They had jobs. But what did you create that was specifically yours to say, this is my shit? I value this. Until you value a creation, you have no desire to protect it. You have no desire to nourish it. You have no desire to even love it the way you're supposed to. You feel me? And that starts before it starts. You feel me? Taking it back to the example of, how fathers, they decide to start seeing women differently when they have a daughter. It's too late. It's already too late. This is one of the reasons why I practice celibacy. This is one of the reasons why I started treating women better. Because I was like, damn, I really don't fuck with women early on. I had mantras of money over bitches. These hoes ain't shit. Fuck these bitches. But in my mind, I wanted to be a father. So when I look back to the relationship of the woman who, quote unquote, broke my heart or whatever, our relationship dynamic was to talk about marriage. Like we talked about marriage, we talked about children, we talked about all of these things. But I was oblivious to what I was supposed to be looking for. You feel me? Can she be a mother to my kid? Because when I look at the things that I was creating and I was doing, she didn't want to be a part of it. She wanted to dictate. Like she wanted to be a part of it when it benefited. But when it was something that it's like, yo, this has nothing to do with you. You feel me? Music was my first creation. Music was my first child. You feel me? I got mixtapes that I've done, have an album that I've done, beats, all of that was my first child. I put everything into that child. And the woman that I was with basically just said, oh, your kid is cute. You feel me? And she stepped into my room one time. We did a song together. You know what I'm saying? She wrote something. I was like, yo, be on this song with me. You feel me? And it was just because of the fact that she was here. I wanted you into my world. I wanted you to experience my child. You feel me? But there was nothing more. She was an artist. She wasn't a songwriter. She wasn't a producer. She wasn't a beat maker. She couldn't play music. She couldn't hear it. Like none of those things were fitting enough for me to even be considering having kids with her. But I did. That's what happens with a lot of us. You feel me? I consider having children with her because it was like, she's cute. She's quote unquote smart. You feel me? So it's like I could have a baby with her. No. I didn't try to have a baby at that moment, but it was on some, with time. But I was thinking about, I was like, you don't even have anything you've created. You have no children. Now, from my perspective, this isn't saying, okay, a woman has to be an author, or a woman has to be an entrepreneur, or a woman has to be these things, you know. But what are you creating? What do you have the capacity to create? And do you create it? You feel me? Do you create it? Do you create it well? How are you maneuvering? Because I have to see how you value the art of creation. Because conceptualization, that's our first experience. When we come together and have this child, can we, you know what I'm saying? When we procreate, why are we procreating if we have not co created yet? If I'm the one who's always creating your shit, if I'm the one who's always creating your shit, or I'm creating what keeps the dynamic of our relationship strong, what are you here for? What do you do? My brothers, we need to start asking that question. This ain't no high value type shit. This ain't no, oh, I'm a high value man. This is what I bring to the table. Fuck that. Fuck what you bring to the table. Fuck the table right now. What have you created? Because we have dynamics of duplication and we have originality, like the originators and we have duplicators. A lot of the shit that we talking about, the high value man shit that we talking about bringing to the table, is shit we duplicated. That ain't our shit. We ain't create that. You feel me? I'm making X amount of money because I'm working a job. That's somebody else's creation. You're bringing somebody else's creation to life. But it also trickles down. And it also shows out in fatherhood sometimes. You feel me? Fathers decide, ooh, I want to be a coach because I want to give back. But your own child is missing everything you're giving. Everything you're pouring into these young men, your child ain't getting it. You feel me? Your child ain't getting it. And that's supposed to be the first person to get it. You feel me? So it's a reflective piece. It's a reflective piece. Fatherhood has to be infused within everything you do because it's tied to paternal energy. But fatherhood has to be tied into everything you do. So it's reflective in everything you do. What type of father you are. Do you put more effort, no, more effort and more intent into things that are outside of your house? You feel me? By that I mean, I'm not saying everybody has to be an entrepreneur, because some people can maneuver the things that how they do. But if your focus is to be a nanny, low key, you're gonna be a nanny at home. It blows my mind when I hear brothers say these ain't even brothers. I'm gonna say when I hear niggas say telling they baby mamas, girlfriends, whatever. It's like I'm not watching the kids. The fuck you mean watching your kids? Ain't no watching them. Like, yo, I can't watch them right now. I got stuff to like. What do you mean? You feel me? Honey Bun done put me on the motherfucking Insecure and shit. Right. So I've been watching that shit. Like, shit's a dope ass show. But like Lawrence, this nigga got another girl pregnant and shit, right? And in the episode where it's like, yo, Shorty's running back and forth, she's not sleeping and everything like that. He just smashing bitches out here. And he thinks he could just fly back and forth and come see the bed. It's like, nah, bro. You got to be a father before you're a father. Out here just fucking recklessly. And then it's like, oh, well, we got plan B. Like, when plan B, you never planned A right. You never planned plan A right when you need a plan B, logically. But when we talk about it from the contraceptive perspective, how reckless are you as a, like, that's not fatherhood shit. Think about it. What if you don't, what if it's not a plan B that you need to take? You feel me? It's not a plan B that you need to take, but a shot. No, what if it's something you can't get rid of? Children and diseases are the two things we can't get rid of. Plan B will, will wipe itself out. You feel me? But it could sterilize the woman. Who knows? But that disease that you get that you can't cure, then what? That's not fatherhood shit. That's not proactive. That's not paternal energy. You see what I mean? You can't let that shit decide. You can't, oh, I want to change now because I am having a child. Bruh, you can't change your mentality in 9 months. You can't change your preset behaviors and your preset notions in 9 months. Well, 5. I'm gonna say 5 because when you find out, it's usually like 3 months already, or some shit like that. So like 5 or 6 months. You feel me? That's when you decide, I'm ready to be a father. Nah, it's little shit that's like you're not gonna have to do. You're not gonna have to think about to do. It's innate when you were a father before you started having kids. It don't make you a father. Having kids doesn't make you a father. The father is the one who nourishes his creations. Are you nourishing your shit right now? You feel me? If you have kids already, you know what I'm saying? This might be taking shots if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. But if you don't have kids yet, have you really contemplated that shit? What have you created in this world? And you feel me? Because your kids are created to give to the world. They're not yours. I hope people understand that. I need people to understand that more. Your children ain't yours. They belong to the universe. They belong to the world. They're here for the mission to, yo, you got something that you got to do in this world. It's on me to bring that out of you. That's no different than your creations. What you create is designed to serve a purpose for the world. Like you're put in the world to create a purpose, to serve a purpose. That purpose derives from your creation and what you create in this world to serve that purpose. Are you nurturing that? Are you developing that? Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Or are you just, I'm a coast, I'm gonna do it, you know, play by play. Being an entrepreneur has really transformed my life. It's never been about the money, but the money is the reward or whatever the case may be. But it's like, it's about my creations. You feel me? It's about my creations and what my creations are supposed to do into this world. So when my creations into the world, I can't just leave them. There's shit that I got to do. I got to market. I got to advertise. I got to do all of the different things that I got to do. I got to stay consistent with the shit that I'm doing. You feel me? I know people who told me I inspired them to start a podcast and they just did 2 episodes and said nobody was listening. Newsflash, nobody listened to me when I first started this shit. You feel me? Like, yo, I like the consistency because you got to see your bigger picture. You feel me? Nobody's going to reward you for being a good father. I get it. We get our Father's Day cards and like that, but ideally, we want to be in the utopian lifestyle. Idealistically, we want to say, okay, reward me for being like, nobody's supposed to reward you for doing what the fuck you're supposed to be doing. Hey, huddle up, broskies, because it's time to elevate. The secret to evolving masculinity is to define it, understand it, then apply it. The So Frail series defines masculinity as the spiritual, mental, and physical embodiment of the essence of analysis and deconstruction. From this definition, I explain how masculinity is not just the hat that we wear, but it's the essence that we must exude through application. If you enjoy the So Frail conversations, why not read the books that inspired them? Visit IamJustSeen.com right now to add the So Frail series to your library to get a better understanding of what masculinity really is. I promise. After reading So Frail, you will never look at masculinity the same again. You feel me? We succumb to that. Like we got so wrapped up in that we want that. Tell me I'm a good father. Tell me I'm this, that, and the third. It's like there was never like when we study our ancestry and the history, like they didn't have Father's Day. They didn't have Mother's Day. They didn't have, okay, celebrate this person on this day because, oh, whoop-de-doo, he's doing his job. He's doing what the fuck he was supposed to be doing. He's handling his responsibility. He made this creation, so he has to make sure this creation stays viable. Because fatherhood is fucked up. You know how many children die before they're laid to rest? Because fatherhood is so fucked up. Do you know how many children die before they've been laid to rest? It's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm segueing that back into the podcast topic that I was discussing with, just a second ago. Like people was like, yo, I want to do a podcast. I do it. I can't find the people to listen to, cuz you're doing it because you see me do it and you think you can do what I do. I have a reason for this shit. I have a purpose for this shit. I have a design for this shit. That's why I'm able to keep doing it with or without listeners. I don't give a fuck if people gonna listen to this shit or not. This shit's gonna be here when they're ready. You feel me? I drop so many different episodes, or when I and so much content. So when I do take my breaks, you got to catch up. It's like, yes, he's not recording anything, so now I can catch up. You feel me? But this is a part of my creation. This podcast is a creation of mine. I want my creation to grow. I want my creation to be viable. I want my creation to be the best it can possibly be. But it requires me to do certain things. I have to post these episodes all the time. You feel me? I have to have the content created. I have to do the marketing and advertising to keep the people coming in. You feel what I'm saying? I can't rely on, oh, yo, you like this podcast, share it. I got a homie right now. You know what I'm saying? You be thinking birds of a feather flock together, but they do flock together for a specific direction. Some birds are of the same feather and don't go the same way. You feel me? So what I mean by that is like I got a homeboy who like he fucks with my podcast. And he be sending my podcast to other people that won't listen to it. But it's not on him. I can't like I can't rely on y'all that are listening to it consistently to say to you know what I mean? Y'all be the ones to expand it. No, it's on me. It's on me, bro. Ain't no different than having a child. It should not be on the TV. It should not be on the music. It should not be on that. It's on me. It's cool. That's very fraternal energy to say, you know, the children are going to be fucked up because of the like I'm going to be my child's greatest influence. I'm supposed to be my child's greatest influence. How the fuck don't I have influence on my child? And again, this is well, I ain't gonna say again because this is my first time saying it. This is no shot, no disrespect towards anybody's parenting or anything like that. But this is my dynamic and my understanding and what I'm seeing we have to do as men going forward. We got to see the value in our creations. Like we look at certain other shit that we do and we put so much emphasis on it and it's mundane, it's bullshit. We're not creating shit. You feel me? As a duplicator, like duplicators don't get no brownie points. Like that's just not cool. Originators are the ones who change the game. Originators create original shit. Your child is original shit. But you're raising them as if you're a duplicator. Your involvement in their life is through some duplicated shit. Rather than sitting down and taking the time to say, I need to understand my child. I need to know my child. I need to know the depths of how they move and how they think. And there's things that I got to do. Take certain classes, get therapy, get certain things. Like, I'm not built for this shit. I'm not built for this shit right now. One of my biggest fears when I was younger is like, I don't want to, like, I didn't want kids up until I was 18 years old. Well, I'm gonna say like till I was 19 to 20, because it wasn't until I was in a relationship where we talked about kids and marriage and shit like that. Up until I said, I'm not getting married, I ain't having no kids. I didn't know how to be a father. I didn't know how to be a man. I didn't know how to be any of this shit. So I said, I'm not walking into the situation blind without knowing how to do this shit. I can't figure it out along the way. I need to have my shit figured out and then go into the space. So now, like I was saying, this ties into the connection of the mother. On life, I put that on me. I put that on everything I stand on. I'm not gonna have no crazy baby mama. Even if me and the woman of the mother of my kids don't work, we not gonna be at no shit because I don't fuck with people like that. You feel me? I get it. Motherfuckers be like, you never know somebody until you know somebody, until you this and the third. That's the point. I would have already vetted this motherfucker out and vetted it and seeing, you know what? You can't have my baby. My brothers, let's do that shit. Like, stop looking at the cute shit. Stop looking at the motherfucker. Oh, she got like you. Don't. Like, yo, can she handle my creation? Can she help me build the creation? You feel me? We look at women who are on some shit like, you know, I can't fuck with a man who's gonna go half, but with the parenting, she's gonna go half. I need some help. Help me do this. I need you, like, you're supposed to be the man, so you gotta protect him. You're supposed to be the mother. You're supposed to nurture and sustain. Technically, it's not my fucking job if we want to stick to shit like that. It ain't my fucking job. I built the house, you built the home. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That shit's gotta stop. Again, because if we can't co-create, we can't procreate. You feel me? We don't even be knowing the motherfuckers that we get pregnant. The fuck is that? You feel me? Like, what the fuck is that? And why do we do it? Like, on some real shit. Seriously sit and think about that shit. You feel me? We have to step into a different realm, bro. Like, real shit. Like, real shit. We really have to step into a different realm, a different space, a different energy, because our babies are going to suffer if we're not in the right space. You feel me? I'm not going to be one of those motherfuckers like I was raised without a father and I turned out fine. I'm fucked up. Not now, but I mean, you feel me? I was fucked up. I was fucked up. Decision making completely off. I didn't have guidance. I didn't have, like, you feel me? Objective emotion. Like, I didn't have none of that shit. I had to develop that shit. I had to learn it. These things came from previous creations that I put into the world. I really look at my bags as babies, as children. I want my children to live forever. I want my children to live for as long as I'm able to see them live. And then some more. But how do I do that? What does that look like? You feel me? Really, what does that look like? Because we got to tap into the different levels. Like, our children have to be created through both spousal and paternal energy. We literally have babies off of fraternal energy because a chick is bad. You feel me? Because her ass is fat. You feel me? Because a pussy good or whatever the case may be. Good pussy is cool. Like, don't get me wrong. It's cool. Just because the pussy is good going in, it doesn't mean what comes out of it is going to be good. Whoo, shit. That's a bar. Mm, mm. Just because it's good going in, it doesn't mean what comes out of it is going to be good. You, father, have to figure that out. As a father, you have to know, you know what comes out of her. Fuck me going inside of her. Fuck me going into her and it feeling good. Does what comes out of her feel good to me? You feel me? Does what come out of her feel good to me? I've transcended so much different shit when it comes to relationships and just self-awareness and shit. Like, when I look at my relationships, like, yo, what good comes out of you? You got to feel good to my soul. You can't be the mother of my kids otherwise. 'Cause this is a partnership. You feel me? This is something we got to work on together, baby girl. Like, you feel me? This is not something that's just going to be, okay, we play and we have fun and everything is it. Like, no, 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 no. It's not like that. The world don't work like that, homie. Our children's prosperity doesn't work like that, homie. Because she cute. You feel me? We be looking like, damn, I wonder. Like, I was always told by the matriarchs in my family, the women in my family, look at the mother of the woman that you want to have kids with or whatever the case may be, because that's who she's going to turn into. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Physically, maybe. You feel me? If she's cut from a certain cloth physically, maybe, yeah, but I can't base who I'm developing with on her mother. I have to base it on her because it's not her mother that I want raising my kids. It's not. It's not her mother that I want guiding my children. It's not her mother that I want to be my co-creator. It's not her mother. So fuck what her mother does. Like respectfully. Like if I'm married into the family, I'm like, I respect your mother and shit like that. But respectfully, fuck your mother as far as like that. I'm not with you for her. But that's what they say. See the mother, and it's like that raises issues for me because it's like, was there originality in the raising, in the upbringing? You feel me? And as a man, when it comes to the fatherhood of it all, it's like it's for me, it's not about aesthetics anymore. You feel me? I'm a handsome man. I get the girls, I get the women, I get that shit. It's cool. You feel me? Every chick around me bad. I get all the bad ones stay around me, all of that good shit, whatever the case may be. It ain't a bad chick that's gonna help me create a good child. Even in saying that, that's a contradiction. Bad bitches raising good children. Come on. You feel me? But we get so wrapped up in the high value shit. High value men require high maintenance women. That's what they look for. The high value man goes and seeks for the high maintenance woman. He thinks because she's high maintenance is like, nah, I don't give a fuck about no fucking BMW, bro. I don't give a fuck about no BMW. It's going to do the same shit the Toyota's going to do, but at the same time, matter of fact, I'm going to change that example. I don't give a fuck about a Lexus. It's going to do the same shit the Toyota's going to do because it's still a fucking Toyota. A Lexus is a Toyota. You feel me? Infinities or Nissans. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's just a different emblem, but it's the same fucking car. Different prices and shit like that. You feel me? This high value shit got us fucked up. The high value man is just a new name for what has been happening all of these times. It's just changing, generations. That's all. Because these same niggas ain't got shit to offer, and they still can't choose a woman to have a successful relationship with to create children correctly. And it ties back into the beginning of where it all starts. You feel me? It ties back into the beginning of where it all starts. These motherfuckers ain't never created nothing. They're bragging about how well they created something for somebody else. Let that resonate. Imagine you bragging about a child. You feel me? Now, this is going to seem a little fucked up, but it's going with the flow of this. You bragging about the accomplishments of your stepchild, but won't acknowledge the accomplishments of your biological child, or don't even have a biological child to brag about. There's nothing wrong with stepping in and being a stepfather and doing the necessary things to do, but it's like, that's not your creation. That's not your creation. And I'm using that to go back into job. Oh, I got promoted. I'm this at a job and shit like that. That shit fucks with your mind when you think you that motherfucker. I was an account manager and shit. Luckily, I did all of this shit in the process of transforming. But had I have been that, like, being in, like, man, shit, you know how entitled I felt because I was in med school? You know how much pussy it was throwing at me because I was in med school? But I still ain't had no substance. I still ain't had no substance, bro. You feel me? When I became an account manager, I had like, yo, you're an account manager? You run a whole account? Yeah, and I work with multiple hotels and shit. It's still not mine. That's not my creation. That's not my creation. That's why the shit that I do for me, it means so much more, whether I'm making the money or not. It means so much more. The Fortune 500 shit, I don't want that. You feel me? Because I don't want employees, yo. This is a tangent, but I don't want employees. I used to want to be a business owner and shit until I became an account manager and shit. And hiring and firing motherfuckers, people calling in and out of work. Like, your shit still got to function. Your shit still got to function. I can't rely on other people to keep my shit going. I refuse to. I refuse to. Feel me? But again, ties into fatherhood. Can't rely on another man to raise your child. His coach, his fucking teachers, like no, that's what we do. Because we're still infantile in that space. That's another thing we don't even address. Like think about pastors, deacons. Like this why I don't fuck with religion like that. Like I feel like all of the men in religion are bitch made. You feel me? All religious men are bitch made in some way, shape, or form. You feel me? Respect to my homies that are still in religions and shit like that. I'm not necessarily calling y'all bitch made. I think the theme of what I'm saying, the theme of what I mean by religious men are bitch made. Because you got to think about it like this, right? You fall on hard times, you in a struggle or some shit, you have to, quote unquote, ask for somebody to intercede for you. I had a girlfriend, and it's like her father, I felt like he was a bitch, but her father was heavily religious and shit. So she got pregnant, and not by me, not by me. So she got pregnant and, was deciding that she wanted to keep it or whatever because she had an abortion, the last one. Again, not by me, not by me. This was before, this was after. One was before, one was after. I wasn't even in the space to be trying to have baby, so I wasn't fucking up on no shit like that. But the first one, her father made her get an abortion. He made her get an abortion because of how the church would have looked at him for his daughter being pregnant out of wedlock. Okay. Second time, she got pregnant. She said, I'm keeping it. I'm not getting another abortion. Like, it's not like I'm done with school. I'm not like, you know what I mean? So her father was on some real sucker shit. He would go to church and say, you guys pray for us because we're going through some hard times or whatever the case may be, blah, blah, blah. But men like that ask other men for permission. A lot of religious men have to ask other men for permission. When you just like go to the deacon for this, go to the pastor for this. I'm not going to no other motherfucker who bleeds like me, who breathes like me, and asking them for permission or an idea or a solution to my fucking problem. That's stupid. But that is also reflective in our fatherhood. I get asking your dad, Pop, I don't know what to do, man. Help me figure this out. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Because that's your first source of parenting. I get going back to that. But at the same time, a part of fatherhood is knowing where you should and shouldn't go. If you know you and your father have fucked up relationships, or you know that there was things you felt neglected for, how you really gonna really like how you really gonna get that information that you're looking for when you were deprived? But you feel me? It's an intertwined, interwoven thing that becomes an essence that we put out into the world. Children are just the last creation that we have. Sometimes it's the first creation that we have that we can't run from, that we can't just put down. Like, you feel me? People be at like people, yo, you still on that trading thing? It's not a thing, nigga. The fuck? You still on that? You still writing those little? They're not little. My books are big, bitch. Got me fucked up. You feel me? Because people don't understand what a creation really is. When people see me create something and they ask me if I'm still doing it, it speaks volumes to who they are as a person. When I talk to women, they're like, yo, you still doing X, Y, and Z? And what you mean? That's not even a question you should ask. But I get why you ask it. You feel me? It's more of an internal thing and a societal thing. It's like people don't stick through with their creations. You feel me? Which just makes it hard to stick with your children. You feel me? Makes it hard to stick with your children. I get it. I get it, mom. Oh, I was with my child all my life, all 18 years I raised him and shit like that. But how much of your business did you tell? How many family members know the most embarrassing shit about your kid because you had to vent, because you had to talk? That's your child. You feel what I mean? That's your child. You don't think a child knows that shit? But what energy does that come from? Where you're gossipy, you feel me? In that space where you just, you know what I mean? It's fraternal energy. You're not even on your paternal shit, but you trying to be a father? That shit weird. That shit weird and it makes no sense. But these are things that we have to establish and met out before we have babies, bro. Like it's too many of us having babies. It's too many of us, you know what I'm saying, not in the mother of our children's lives. You feel me? At this point, forget the babies. You feel me? That's cool and all. Oh, I'm not in my child. You're not in your child. It's not cool that you're not in your child's life. But what I mean by forget the babies is that they're here. You feel me? They're here already. And you can't even be in the mother. Like that shows like, why did you create with that? You created with somebody you don't even fuck with. Well, she wasn't like this from the start. True, true. I'm not gonna take that away from you. She may not have been like that from the start. How much time did you let play out before you seen that though? Hmm. Hmm. I got a homie, right hand man. I fucks with him 100% for this. He was like, bro, he said, I can admit that I ain't put in enough time before I had a baby with this woman. This shit is hell. This shit is hell. I commend him so much because as a man, he's still doing what he's supposed to do. As a father, he's doing what he's supposed to do. And I don't mean from, oh, you're still a father, you're going through and you're paying the child support. No, no, no. My man's being in court all the time, fighting for full custody, fighting for it, keeping the receipts and like he's really fighting for it. He's like, there's no fucking way in hell I'm gonna let my child not know. You feel me? That's a piece of fatherhood. I know it seems contradictory. It's like, oh, you're supposed to do it before, but he's evolving in the moment. He's not quitting. He's not giving up. He's not defeated. He's transforming and coming into the paternal energy in this moment, realizing I should have already had this before I had the baby, but I got it now. I'm getting it and I'm moving forward with it. You dig what I'm saying? By any means, he's doing everything he needs to do for his creation to be his. And when I look at who he was before he had kids, he was a creator, originator. The shit that he did, he put into this world, that I watched him put into this world. Yeah, yeah, it was inevitable. He's younger than me, but I look up to him. As far as fatherhood and shit goes, I'm like, yeah. But it was shit that I've already seen. He's already created shit. I've already seen him create. I've already seen him be in that creative space and seriously be a creator. He used to run fucking cross country and shit. Nigga, to run cross country, that's a level of discipline and fucking you, man. At any given moment, you just say, fuck it, I don't want to do this shit no more. He created himself that way. I know it seems what you were just talking about. If you're a duplicator, if that's not, he didn't create running. He didn't create running. Fuck, he didn't create cross country running. But at the same time, what he created within himself became a runner. Yeah, I talk shit and I can bring it back, motherfucker. What he created within himself made him the runner. You feel me? He never deviated from it. And if you were not in his space to be fucking with him in that space, like as far as him being a runner first, he ain't fuck with you. You feel me? I was hoeing. I was hoeing at the time. You feel what I'm saying? So it was like, fuck it. You ain't got to be no forensic biologist. You ain't got to do what the fuck I do. Fuck that. I'm hoeing. But he only kept people in the space that kept the shit right. Me, on the other hand, because I was hoeing, I kept motherfuckers in the space to entertain me. You feel me? I'm glad I didn't have any babies because when I look at those women, it's like, you weren't built to have a baby with me. I damn sure wasn't built to have a baby with you. You feel me? I am not about to make it work with anybody. I'm not going to make it work with anybody. We gonna make this motherfucker work together. If we can't, then nah, nah. I knew the woman that cheated on me. I knew I like we was talking about kids and baby. I knew deep down I wasn't supposed to marry her. I was going to make it work. The relationship didn't even work. But I was like, damn. Now that I look back in hindsight, mm, it would have been that much worse. Like, had I had kids with her right now, mm, I wouldn't have a podcast. I wouldn't have no books out. I wouldn't have no courses. I would be so fucking miserable right now. I just know it. You feel me? But at the time, I was talking about and planning for father shit, but I wasn't even a father yet. I wasn't even like I had not even tapped into fatherhood yet. You feel me? But with time and that experience, it taught me like as a creator, as a true creator, when you truly create from the soul, when you truly create from what it is that you do, you start to value it. One thing that she always remembered about me, she used to always say, like I fell in love with her and everything. Like she really was my first love that was a woman. You know, I was gonna say human, but you feel me? That's not the case. But as a woman, like that was the first woman that I ever loved. And she was talking to one of her homegirls. She was like, girl, you know he ain't gonna do you like that. That's your first love. She said, I'm not his first love. Music is. She was absolutely right. She was absolutely right. And this is gonna sound fucked up saying this. I really no, it's not gonna be fucked up. It's not gonna be fucked up. Um, I realized that I didn't really I guess I did love her because I always say with love comes correction. I didn't like her though. I fell in love with her and I stopped liking her, but never stopped loving her. And that's where the fuck up happened because I stopped liking her, but I still loved her. So I still wanted to get her to the point where I would like her again. I know this seems like, oh, there's like when I look at how this shit played out and me getting cheated on and shit, I can't, I'm, in hindsight, like I'm not hurt anymore either way, but I'm not too upset at the fact I didn't even like her anymore. I really did not like this person, but I loved her enough to correct, like not correct her in a sense like she was always off, but to push her to be better. I didn't like her though. I really did not like that person. But that was the person I was talking about having babies with. That was the person I talk about having like I stopped liking her. We were together for 2 years, 2 years some change. I probably stopped liking her about 9 months into the relationship. I think we talked for like 4 months before we got together, and then we were together for like 2.5 years. And I think I stopped liking her about 9 months in. Probably before that. I remember I remember vividly we was in the lobby of our suite of our dorm room, and one of the RAs, I think she was graduating or something, she was doing something, and she was like, "Oh, that's what it was." She said, "I want y'all to roast me. Give a roast." Now, a roast is you joking, you having fun, or whatever the case may be. And my girlfriend at the time decided she just wanted to speak on something. And it was this moment I knew I didn't like her because she says, it's a roast. Everybody's joking, everybody's having fun, everybody's, throwing little shots or whatever. But her shit was real personal. It wasn't even a joke. She was like, "Well, when I first met you, I didn't like you. I couldn't stand you. Um, I thought you wasn't shit, but I realized that you are a genuine person and you're all right with me now." And I looked, and this what got me fucked up because the RD at the time, she didn't like my girlfriend either. Like a lot of motherfuckers didn't like my girlfriend. And I was like, they was like, I don't understand why you was with her in the first place. Like, y'all are like, I didn't get it. I loved her, but I didn't like her either. Didn't know it. So the RD looks and it's like me and the RD both look at her. And The RD looks at me while I'm still looking at her, and I mouth the words, "Why the fuck am I with you?" And the RD looked, and I was like, "Oh," and she was like, "I was thinking the same thing." And I was like, "Damn, you weren't supposed to see that." You feel me? But I never liked her. But yet, this is somebody that I'm talking about having kids and babies with. I don't like you. I don't like you. I can't stand you. I do not like being around you. My undergrad year, I was high most of the time. Now, granted, when I first got there, I smoked weed because I smoke weed. You feel me? Like, it's like, yo, I wasn't smoking all the time, but I smoke weed because I smoke weed. When me and her got together, I smoked weed every day just to deal with her. That was a problem. It is a problem. But that was my reality. I never liked her. That's a part of fatherhood. That's a part of fatherhood. You feel me? Making sure you actually like the woman that you're loving before you have babies with her. I'm glad I don't have any kids. I'm glad that nothing ever transpired because now I'm like, you feel me? But these are things that we have to be proactive about. A lot of us really don't even like the women that we be having babies with. This baby mama though. I don't like you. I love you though, but I don't like you. I don't want a relationship like that. I don't like you. You feel me? And the way I define love is like with love comes correction. Now that I experienced that and I know what it is to actually be in that space of loving people, I only love people I like now. That's the plot twist to the shit now. I know I always talk about, oh, I got love for everybody. I do, but I only love people I like. I'm only willing to pour into people I like now. I gotta program myself and get myself into the habit of loving people that I like and loving people that like me back. Well, let me say it like this: loving people that I like and liking people that like me back. That shit's stupid as fuck now. Like we having babies with people that we don't like. The relationship falls out and shit because you didn't like them. You can't co-parent because you didn't like them. So much so that it's now trickling down into your child. It's like, why the fuck? Like little shit will irritate you. Little shit will irritate you. I've had homeboys, I have homies, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, my baby mama just dropped my kid off and then put the diaper bag, didn't do nothing like that. And none of shit like that. It's like, you feel me? I can't stand that bitch. Like, yo, she get on my fucking nerves. Like, why would she do that shit? Because she don't like you. And she know you don't like her. So to make you hurt, because you don't, you feel me? You don't like me. So I can't do anything directly to you to piss you off anymore. But I can do the indirect shit through our child to piss you off. Because I know you don't like me. And I know you don't like me and I don't like you anymore. And it ain't no love there. It's hate. That's why I say with love is the power for betterment through correction. Hate is the power for detriment through incorrection. Incorrection is not a word, it's not grammatically correct, but it flows. You feel me? For the sake of what's being said. She don't like you. You don't like her. And now you have a child that's suffering through that shit. You knew you didn't like this motherfucker from the jump. You knew you didn't like the way she chewed. You knew a whole bunch of other simple shit a long time ago that you didn't like about her. I'm at a space now in my life where I've learned to like. I've always liked the women that but I've learned to leave a situation alone when I no longer like you. When the red flag shit start here, I don't look past them because I don't like red flags. So I don't like people that show me their red flags. You feel me? It ain't no, if you can't accept me at my best, you don't, or accept me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Fuck you and your worst. I don't give a fuck. You got me fucked up, shawty. Shawty. But nah, these points that I'm bringing up are all proactive things that our fatherhood needs to be tied to ahead of time. They got a phrase that says one man's trash is another man's treasure. You feel me? It may be another man's treasure, but it's still your trash. I'm not saying the women are trash. I'm speaking in general on a broader scale of all things. The shit you can't see value in has no value to you. No matter, you're never going to see it. This is the importance of creating your own shit. This is the importance of being a creator and actually pouring into what you're creating and getting used to liking it and loving what you're creating. We're so busy loving what we don't like, trying to prove a point. You know where that comes from? Our upbringing. You feel me? A lot of us grow up in spaces where we're tolerated because we're not liked. We don't even know we're not liked. You know, we whooped and loved, but we're not really liked. Can't speak a certain way. Can't say a certain thing, especially us as men. You feel me? Something that I've noticed is like men with monotone voices and shit who don't like try to put any emotion into their voice or whatever the case may be is because they were always told they can't speak a certain way. You got too much bass in your voice. Take that. It's like, it's okay, cool. So I just be monotonous. You feel me? What do you do? What do you do when you are trying to raise or trying to develop yourself to be a father and your father didn't like you or you perceive that your father didn't like you? You feel me? That's a cultural thing. I don't know if our parents really come to terms with it and shit. They exhibit a lot of times, more times than none, that they don't like us. They say the shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of your little friends. You're not my friend. Damn. I'm your parent. That's nigga. You're supposed to be my friend too. The fuck? Then you go for 18 years. There's no like it's a culture like to utter the words. If you utter these words before, then you kind of know where I'm going with this. But like to utter the words, I can't wait till I get 18. You know you're not liked. And you don't like where you are. So you gotta ask yourself when it comes to terms with your fatherhood, where do you stand with that shit? You feel me? You gotta like you. Like the things you create. Bring women into your space that like what you've created. Show that, okay, I'm with you on this because this is one of your kids. I'm fucking with it. You feel me? See if y'all can collaborate and see what the efforts are. You know what I'm saying? Like, see what the collaborative equity, like, co-create something. Before you have, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Before you have a child with the woman, see if you two can create something together. See if you can create something together. If she can't invigorate you to be creative, if she can't spark any thoughts within you, if your craft or your brand or whatever it is that you're building on, it's not lucrative and she can't contribute to that shit, you feel me? And then if y'all working together on building something, let's say, hey, I want to do this. I want to have this. And you're doing all of the work. Now, this is not to say like if you're doing a heavy lifting and she's doing a light lifting. By light lifting, what I mean by that is like the intangible shit that brings things together, but it's still equal in comparison. You feel me? But if you're doing everything, it's like, what do I need you here for? You feel me? That's why I get frustrated whenever I start talking about, whenever the conversation is on and I chime in, they be like, yo, what do women bring to the table and shit? Women are like, well, we have kids and shit. No, when we talk about going half, they're like, well, we gotta raise the kids, we gotta do all that shit. And what if none of that shit is in the picture yet? What the fuck do you do? What the fuck can you do? Oh, I can be your piece. I don't need none of that shit. I need a co-creator. Show me that you can create with me. Motherfuckers, when I say going 50 and shit, a lot of motherfuckers be thinking I'm just talking about paying half on the rent. No, no, no. Go 50 with me. Co-create with me. Co-create with me. Then let's see where we end up. Because if you can't co-create with me, you can't procreate with me. And if I know within myself that I cannot co-create with you as a woman on a tangible level, on as far as the material level, if I can't co-create with you on that one, I'm not ready to be a father with you. Like, I'm just not. And I gotta accept that shit. As a man, I gotta accept that shit. As men, we gotta start to accept that shit. If we cannot equally co-create with a motherfucker before the babies come into the space, we're not ready to be fathers. And don't forget to take a moment to go get your exclusive merchandise from Just Scenes merch. At Just Scenes, each piece is specifically crafted with positive imagery and symbolism. From the titles and designs to the descriptions, each style gives you something to feel great about. With everything from hoodies and tees to coffee mugs and tote bags, we have something for the entire family. So be sure to get yours today. Find us on Instagram at Just Scenes merch and get your merchandise right now. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Like I said, this is the end of season 6. This is where I'm at right now in my life. Like, I want to be a father and shit. Like, oh, I'm ready to start settling down and shit. Like, that's like my intention is there. Like, I've created enough and seen what it takes to put intention something that you created. You feel me? Now, this ain't to say I'm gonna have a baby next week. I ain't having, like, you feel me? But I'm observing and I'm coming into terms, like I'm setting standards with myself and like elevating my attraction, elevating my type, elevating my connection with women. Now it's like, yo, I gotta like you. You feel me? For years, like that is a very simple topic, a very simple subject. But when I look at my past relationships, I didn't like them women. I wasn't taught to. I was never taught to like a woman. You feel me? Misogyny, patriarchy doesn't teach you to like women. You're not supposed to like women. Love your niggas, don't love these bitches. All of this shit. Like, there's mantras that teaches this shit. That's why I was talking about shit in So Frail 1. Mantras is suppression. Shit that keeps us away from, you know what I mean? I say in more recent years, I actually started liking women. And then when I would look at women who I would clash with, it's like, I don't like you. You're trying too hard. You're doing too much. I don't fucking like you. You're going to learn. I don't have to learn to like you. If I don't like you, I don't like you. It's that simple. But because we be wanting pussy so much, because it's just about getting some ass, we would tolerate the fact that we don't like a motherfucker. Raw dogging and everything, and then end up having a baby. Back to the insecure thing. Lawrence don't like his baby mama. He does not like the woman he's with that he had a baby by right now. He don't like her. But he has a baby and he's going to try to make it work. This is why it's hard to make it work. Y'all don't like each other. She don't like the fact that you moved on. She don't want a kid, another motherfucker around her kid. You feel me? That's not even y'all baby no more. That's hers. It's hers and it's yours when y'all have it. It ain't no our child. Give me my child back. Like she said that in the episode. She told Lawrence, give me my baby. He said, it's my baby too. The fuck? You feel me? Couldn't stand on it. But the whole argument, those two didn't like each other. So tying that into this full perspective and shit, as fathers, going into fatherhood, two important points that I touched on here that I feel like we need to have more conversations on this. We need to like the mother of our children, first and foremost. And two, we need to start creating shit that aren't babies. Start creating shit and you see the value of what it takes to put your effort into the shit. You feel me? Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until, oh shit, it's a slip up. Plan B didn't work. Well, you ain't seen nothing. Oh, now I got a baby. And I don't like you. That's why we get upset. Soon as we fucking find out the woman's pregnant, we gotta go get a test. You sure it's mine? Because you don't like her. You don't like her. You fucking somebody you don't like. Niggas. But you don't like her though. You don't fucking like her. And because you don't like her, it makes everything else fall down. When I get the word that my woman is pregnant, I'm gonna be on some shit like, I know. You feel me? It ain't no mystery to me. You feel me? I'm not gonna have to worry about getting a paternity test. I'm not gonna have to worry about all that shit. You know why? Because I'm not gonna fuck with somebody like that. The fact that you have to get a paternity test, you knew you shouldn't have been fucking with somebody like that. Literally, what you're telling yourself is, I'm literally about to have I'm possibly about to have a baby with a motherfucker I don't trust. I don't trust you enough not to have cheated on me and have a baby by another nigga. But at last, I raw dogged you and could potentially be having a baby with you. Niggas. I don't like you. I like your vagina. Motherfuckers be acting like I be tripping when I say that shit. I'm like, y'all niggas is homosexuals that like vagina. Niggas don't really like women, they like vagina. You gotta really like women to have babies with them. But now this goes back into times in slavery, shit like that. Like, you feel me? The breeding farms, motherfuckers are just fucking anybody because you had to impregnate her for whatever the shit was going on. There was never a like. This shit was passed down. It's like, yo, you don't like them. You don't like them. This is different, bro. This is different, bro. I just ask, one, we have more conversations on fatherhood before we're fathers. You feel me? Two, start liking the women that you call yourself having a baby with. Call yourself raw dogging and shit. Like, yo, I don't give a fuck. If I don't like you, you not get my dick is not going in you. Celibacy has taught me a lot. Celibacy has really taught me a lot. I encourage every man to at least give a year where you ain't fucking nothing. Let your mind clear out a little bit and watch how you view life. Watch how you view life. I was fucking women I liked. I was fucking women I didn't like. I was fucking women I didn't give a fuck about. Shouldn't have been the case. I don't like you. Why is my dick going in you? My dick is the closest thing that I have to me. My dick is, that's where my life sustainer is at. And I'm sitting here putting it in something I do not like. What does that say about me? What does that say about who I am? I'm planting seeds in earth that I do not like. Think about it. Take all the time you need. You feel me? But in the time that we thinking about this shit, we need to realize that we got to become fathers before we become fathers. Otherwise, we're going to fuck up another generation. We're going to fuck up a whole nother generation. But I'm going to go ahead and end it there, man. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And I really don't have much to say for the children as far as fatherhood goes, because, you feel me, they too young to be thinking about fathers. But I guess in the fatherhood preparation, prepare so well that you can be in your kids, you know what I mean? Be in that dynamic. And they can really adjust to what fatherhood is from a true perspective, from an essential perspective, not as a subordinate piece in a family. You feel me? This is what dad does. This is what mom does. This is like, nah. It's not, your child should not be able to, your child shouldn't look at you and say, this is what my dad does, but this is who my dad is. This is who my father is. You feel me? Not what you do, not your attributes and your traits, but who you are. That is essential. That is crucial to the greater reality. You feel me? Our boys need that. Our boys need to see those examples. See what it is to like. That's what I'm gonna say on this shit. In our quest of fatherhood, if we're showing our boys, young homies, nephews, or whatever the case may be, we need to show them, let them see us like women. You feel me? Let them see us become fathers before we're fathers. Be creators. Show people that create something. Like, when I look at the father figures I've had, now I go back and I say, you know what? I used to say I never had a father figure because I was thinking more father based, but now I look at it, I had a lot of father figures. You feel me? One in particular was a guy named Kent, and he would always, like, he lived right across the little hallway from us, and when I lived in California, but Like he would be like, yo, he made a race car with my brother one time. Like my older brother, he made a race car, painted it like in this go-kart and everything. And then he did the same with me. He made a little go-kart. My shit was dope. My shit was better than my brother's because like his shit was like a real boxcar shit, but my shit was ratchet because it was real creative. So I had a tricycle and I had, you know how the tricycles got the pedals on the front. So he cut the backside of my tricycle off and it was just the front wheel with the pedals. And he had welded it to like this big long beam, this like this long board and shit. And I was whipping the fuck out of that shit. I was riding my friends on that motherfucker, like, and I would go real fast and slurt it. Like, you feel me? I was, man, that shit was, I was like 4 or 5 or some shit like that. But he did that for me. You feel what I'm saying? He taught me to create and show the value of my creation and put value into my creation. I remember so much so that whenever I used to have to turn, because it was like you couldn't really, it was so long that you couldn't turn it on the sidewalk. You had to ride it in the street. But like when you reached the end of the sidewalk, you had to go behind it, pick it up, and then turn it all the way around. And I would always drop it because I didn't want to smash my fingers, but I didn't realize that there was that much space where I could let it down easy. And I used to drop it. And he would tell me, he said, "You made this. Don't drop it like that." I never forget those words. I think about those words sometimes all the time. And it's like, what was programming into me at that moment was that fatherhood is about how well you value your creations enough to continue to pour into them and take care of them. You feel me? And so I'm going to leave y'all with that. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And I'm going to see y'all when season 7 comes back. We're going to take some time. Y'all can get caught up on your shit. You feel me? All the ones that you ain't watched yet or listened to yet. Um, yeah, I'm gonna take me a break. I'll be back after the new year. Yeah, so get caught up when I come back. Coming back with a vengeance. So Frail 3 is done. Everything is like I'm coming back different. You'll see. You'll see. So stay posted. Um, yeah, it's been a good run on season 6. I feel like I had a lot of good episodes here. You feel me? Go back to season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the impromptus, entrepreneurs, whatever. But in the meantime, in between time, I will see y'all all later on the next one, season 7. So peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, baby. I'm out.